All right, so manifestation. We're really going to deep dive into this, huh? See if it's more than just wishful thinking.
Yeah.
The source you sent over, it's a YouTube script template,
Okay.
a whole 30-day manifestation plan. And they're calling it science-backed, which is what I thought we should take a look at.
It is interesting how they're trying to use science to support this idea
Yeah.
of manifestation. It's kind of a mystical idea, but they're trying to ground it, I guess.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but in the template, there are all these notes about visuals and sound effects.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's how you get those YouTube views, huh? Got to keep people engaged.
Right, exactly. Make it exciting. Even if it's self-help. Got to spice it up.
Yeah, definitely. But okay, let's get into it. So the template, they start off by connecting manifestation to, well, two things, neuroplasticity
Hmm.
and the reticular activating system.
RES.
Yeah, the RAS. Now, I'm guessing most people have heard of neuroplasticity, but maybe not so much RAS. So what is that all about?
Well, so neuroplasticity,
Yeah.
that is your brain's ability to change and adapt
Yeah.
based on experiences, what you're learning, what you're focusing on. So it's like,
Yeah.
if you are learning a new language,
Right.
your brain is literally rewiring itself to accommodate that.
So could you actually use this to say, train your brain to see opportunities that are related to your goals?
That's the idea.
Yeah.
And that's where the RAS comes in.
Okay.
RAS, it's like, think of it as a filter for your brain. It's bombarded with so much information all the time. The RAS decides what actually gets through to your conscious awareness.
So what they're saying is the template, they're saying if you're super clear about your goals and you're really invested in them emotionally, that your RAS basically picks up on things that you might have missed otherwise.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, you suddenly start noticing job postings in a field you're interested in.
Right. Or you meet someone who has the expertise you need. You're just more aware of these opportunities.
So it's like you prime your brain to see those things, right?
Exactly. And actually, the template, they have this 5 senses exercise to help you define those goals.
Oh, what is that?
Basically, you describe your dream job or your ideal relationship, whatever it is you want.
Okay.
You describe it using all 5 senses.
So it's not just, I want a new job. It's, okay, I'm sitting in my ergonomic chair in my spacious office, and I smell fresh coffee.
Exactly. You're really painting a picture with all your senses.
Yeah.
And the idea is the more vividly you can imagine it, the more your brain starts to treat it like it's real.
Mm-hmm.
And the more likely your RAS is to pick up on those relevant details.
So it's like you create a movie trailer for your dream life, and your brain starts looking for those scenes in the real world.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But whether RAS is powerful enough to manifest huge life changes, I mean, I don't know. That's where I get a little iffy.
Right. There's definitely evidence that we notice what we're focusing on right now.
Like that thing where you buy a new car,
Oh, yeah.
and then you see that car everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah, that's your RAS.
But whether it can, land you a dream job just because you're thinking about it,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's where you have to think critically. Like, we can acknowledge our minds are powerful, but maybe not, magic.
Right. Okay, well, so this template, it lays out a whole 30-day plan. They break it down into 3 phases.
Okay.
The first one is detox doubt.
Okay.
Second one, align actions.
All right.
And the last one is surrender and receive.
Interesting.
And each one of these, it seems like they're tackling a different part of this whole manifestation process. And I'm kind of curious how they all connect.
Yeah, me too. Especially surrender and receive.
Right. Like, how is that science-backed? We'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
But let's start with detox doubt. What's the idea there?
So they're focusing on those limiting beliefs, those things that hold you back before you even start.
Right.
So you're supposed to identify those negative thought patterns. I'm not good enough. I can't do this, that kind of thing.
So it's kind of like cognitive behavioral therapy where you reframe those thoughts, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you turn them into something more positive.
Yeah, and they have practical things you can do, like gratitude journaling,
Oh.
where you focus on what you're thankful for. And they even to rephrase I can't into how can I?
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's about changing your mindset, right?
exactly. It's about abundance, not limitation.
Okay, I see. So you're laying the groundwork before you even start to take any action.
Exactly. You have to have the right mindset.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right. So for detox doubt, they suggest you spend 5 minutes every day just writing down things you're grateful for.
So just like basic gratitude journaling.
Yeah, but they say even that can be really powerful. You shift your focus to what's good, what's working, and you kind of retrain your brain to notice those things more.
Yeah, instead of only focusing on the negative.
Exactly. It's like building an abundance mindset.
Have you ever actually tried that? Gratitude journaling.
I have. I was going through kind of a rough time a few years ago, and my therapist actually suggested it. I have to admit, I was kind of skeptical at first. It felt a little,
Yeah, yeah.
but I was surprised. It really did shift my perspective. Like even on bad days,
Yeah.
there was always something I could find to be thankful for.
So it really helped.
Yeah, it really did. Made
That-
me feel more, I don't know, hopeful, I guess.
That's cool. I might have to try it. What else do they say for detoxed out?
Oh, they had this thing about replacing I can't statements
Okay.
with how can I questions. So instead of saying I can't afford that vacation,
You ask, how can I afford that vacation?
exactly, you turn it into like a problem to solve.
Yeah, so it's more proactive.
Right, and it gets you thinking creatively
Mm-hmm.
instead of just shutting down the possibility.
It reminds me of that whole growth mindset thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like you view challenges as opportunities to learn
Exactly.
instead of just getting stuck.
Yeah, it's like you're not accepting defeat. You're looking for a way forward.
Right, exactly. Okay, so that's detoxed out. Then what is it? Align actions. What do they say about that?
Okay, so line actions. This is where like you actually start doing things, taking steps.
Okay.
But it's about doing it consistently, even if they're small steps.
Yeah.
So they talk about like spending 15 minutes a day on something that helps you build skills
Yeah.
related to your goal.
So like if you wanted to write a novel, you would spend 15 minutes a day writing.
Yeah, or even researching or brainstorming ideas. It's about like showing up every day
There you go.
and building that momentum.
It's like working out, right? You don't get ripped overnight. You got to just keep showing up,
Exactly.
put in the time.
It's that compound effect.
Yeah. This is actually making sense so far.
Yeah, it's pretty practical.
No magic wands or anything?
Just like actual effort and shifting your mindset.
Okay. But then there's surrender and receive. I'm still not sure about that one. How do they say you're supposed to incorporate that?
Well, they talk about like letting go of control a little bit.
Yeah.
Being open to opportunities that you maybe didn't expect. They say things like visualization and meditation can help.
But isn't that kind of like passive? If you're just surrendering to the universe, don't you still need to be taking action?
Right. And they emphasize that. Surrender and receive isn't about sitting back and waiting. It's more about like trusting the process and aligning your energy with your goals, taking inspired action.
So you're still like doing stuff, but you're not so attached to how it's all supposed to happen.
Right. Because sometimes like what you end up with is even better than what you imagined. You just got to be open to it.
Okay, I think I get that. It's like going on a road trip
Yeah.
and you have a destination in mind, but you're open to taking detours and seeing what else is out there.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And sometimes those detours lead to something amazing that you would have missed if you just stuck to the plan.
Yeah, I like that. So do they say anything about specific practices for surrender and receive? Like, what are you supposed to do every day?
Well, they talk about meditation
Mm-hmm.
and visualization and even like spending time in nature to kind of connect with that sense of peace and openness. It's about like creating space for inspiration, letting your intuition guide you.
I can get behind that. I'm a big fan of being out in nature. It's like my own kind of meditation, I guess.
Right. It just kind of clears your head.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got detoxed out, align actions. Those seem pretty grounded. But surrender and receive, that one's still pushing me a little.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it fits with like the scientific stuff.
I think it's about finding a balance. You're not throwing logic out the window, but you're also acknowledging that maybe there are things we don't fully understand.
Yeah.
It's like you're taking action, but you're also trusting the flow of life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe that's where the magic happens, when you combine those two things.
Maybe. So they also have some specific visualization techniques for surrender and receive. Do you want to dive into those?
Yeah, sure. I've always been curious about visualization,
Yeah.
but I always get hung up on like, how do you actually do it?
Right. Well, one technique they talk about is called future scripting.
Okay, I haven't heard of that. What's that?
So you basically write about your desired future, but you write it as if it's already happening, like you're journaling. But you're describing your dream life in the present tense, using lots of detail, sensory details.
So instead of like, I hope to get a promotion someday, it's, I am so grateful for my new role as dream job title.
Exactly. You're basically telling your subconscious, this is my reality now.
Interesting.
And by doing that over and over, you're kind of rewiring your beliefs.
It's like planting seeds and then watering them with positive emotions.
Yeah.
So you're creating a blueprint for your future in your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Makes me think about the placebo effect. Like people actually experience changes based on what they believe. So maybe it's kind of like a mental placebo. You're tricking your brain into thinking you've already achieved your goals.
That's a good point.
Mm.
It's all about that mind-body connection.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it, but hey, if it works. What other visualization stuff do they mention?
Oh, they talk about vision boards.
Oh, the classic vision board. I see those everywhere. But I gotta admit, I've always thought they were a little too woo-woo for me.
Wow.
Like, come on, just gluing pictures to a board isn't gonna magically make things happen, is it?
Right, it's not magic. But I think it can be a helpful tool for, like, clarifying your goals.
Yeah.
Keeping them top of mind.
Okay.
When you actually choose the images, the words, it helps you connect with those desires on an emotional level.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And if it's somewhere you see it all the time, it's kind of like a visual reminder.
Exactly.
Like a physical representation of your future script.
Yeah, exactly. It's like your dreams and aspirations all laid out. And it can be fun to make.
Okay, all right. You're winning me over. I might have to try it. Any other visualization techniques?
One that's really interesting is called mental rehearsal. It's something athletes use a lot to improve their performance.
Oh, okay.
So you imagine yourself doing the thing you want to do, like really vividly, using all your senses.
So like if you're nervous about a presentation.
You picture yourself giving the presentation confidently. You hear the audience engaged, asking questions, and you even feel that sense of accomplishment at the end.
And that actually helps.
Yeah, the idea is when you do that over and over, it's like you're creating those neural pathways in your brain, so when you actually do it in real life, it's easier.
So it's like practicing in a simulator before you do the real thing.
Yeah, exactly. And there's research that shows it can be just as effective as physical practice.
Wow. So basically, by visualizing our goals as if they've already happened, we're training our brains to expect success, which could then actually make us more likely to succeed.
That's the theory. It goes back to that neuroplasticity thing.
Right, right. It's all starting to connect now. So they're drawing on psychology, neuroscience, even sports psychology.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
To make a case for manifestation.
Right. And even if maybe not every single part of it is scientifically proven, there's definitely evidence that our thoughts and beliefs affect our lives.
And that's empowering, to know that we have some control over our own destiny.
Definitely. But it's also important to remember, life is complicated.
Yeah.
There are things we can't control.
So it's not like we can manifest anything we want just by thinking about it.
Right. It's not a guarantee.
It's more about understanding that our minds are powerful and we can use that power to create the life we want.
Right.
That actually brings up a good point, which they talk about in the template too. It's about letting go of attachment to specific outcomes. Like you focus on the journey. And you're open to maybe what you manifest isn't exactly what you thought it would be, but it's even better.
Yeah, that's really important because sometimes life has different plans.
Yeah.
Those plans might be amazing.
Yeah, that reminds me of when I got laid off from a job a few years back.
Oh, yeah.
And at the time I was devastated because I thought it was my dream job, but then it forced me to rethink things. And I ended up in a career that's so much better.
So it was a blessing in disguise.
Totally. I didn't feel like it at the time, but looking back, it was the best thing that could have happened.
That's redirection, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the universe just has a way of pushing you in the right direction, even if you don't realize it.
It's like it knows better than you do what's good for you.
So maybe it's not about manifesting specific things, but it's about creating the right conditions so your dreams can actually happen. Like you align your thoughts and your beliefs and your actions with what you want, and then you just stay open to possibilities.
That's really well said. It's like you're creating fertile ground for your aspirations to grow.
And then you gotta like tend to that garden with patience and be willing to accept whatever comes up.
That's a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
It really is. So after all this talk about manifestation, what do you think? What really sticks with you?
You know, it's funny. I think that the how can I thing, instead of I can't, that really resonates with me. It's like you're taking charge instead of just feeling stuck.
It's a good one. And like even the gratitude journaling.
Hmm.
I think those are helpful tools. Even if, like, you don't buy into the whole,
Right.
manifesting your destiny thing. It's still about being positive, taking action.
Right. But I gotta say, I'm still a little unsure about that whole manifest anything you desire part.
Yeah.
It just seems a bit too simple. Like it doesn't take into account, hard work and luck, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I get it. It's not a magic bullet. It's not like you just sit around thinking positive thoughts and then boom,
Right.
you get everything you want. It's still a process. You got to put in the effort.
It's not a magic wand. It's
Yeah.
more like a compass
Yeah.
showing you the direction.
Giving you a guide.
But you still gotta, walk the path.
You got to take the steps
Yeah.
and make choices along the way. And sometimes that path, it takes you somewhere different
Yeah.
than you thought you were going. And that's where that whole surrender and receive thing comes in. Being okay with that. Trusting that it might lead to something even better.
Like that job I was telling you about.
Yeah.
The one I got laid off from. If I hadn't been forced to change directions,
Mm-hmm.
I never would have found this career. That I actually love.
So sometimes it's those setbacks
Yeah.
that actually get you on the right track.
Yeah, it's like redirection.
Exactly. The universe has a plan.
It's like it knows better than you do
Sometimes, yeah.
what you really need.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not about manifesting specific things, but it's about like setting the stage so that whatever is meant for you can actually happen.
I like that.
You align your actions with your beliefs, your thoughts, and you stay open to whatever might come up.
It's like creating the right conditions for your dreams to grow.
Yeah, and then you just gotta nurture them, be patient, and roll with the punches.
Makes sense to me. So for everyone listening out there,
Mm-hmm.
if there's one thing to take away from all this,
Mm.
what would you say it is?
Well, I think it's that even if you don't totally believe in like the whole manifestation thing,
Yeah.
there's still power in having a positive mindset, taking action, and being open to whatever life throws at you.
I think that's a good takeaway. You never know. Maybe there's more to it.
Yeah, maybe. But either way, it can't hurt to set intentions, go after what you want, and just be open to the possibilities.
I agree. Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive.